बहुत लोगों ने कहा कि ज़ीशान सिद्दीकी चुनाव नहीं लड़ेगा, बहुत लोगों ने साजिशें भी की जैसे शिवसेना उपट्टा ने, मगर मैंने कहा कि भाई मैं डरने वालों में से नहीं हूं, मेरा नाम सिर्फ ज़ीशान सिद्दीकी नहीं है, ज़ीशान बाबा सिद्दीकी है।
My friend Daniel, he got a call and he screamed at Baba Bhai pe firing hui hai. And I don't remember what happened after that. I remember I was not wearing any chappals because I just removed them. And I ran barefoot towards my office. My security and my the people around me, they just took me and put me in the car. And I went to the hospital then. And that was, I saw him. There was a lot of blood. And no, I didn't get to speak to him after that. Lots of things played in my mind that what if I didn't go to eat in Italy? I don't know. Maybe I would have got the bullet, and maybe it's being selfish because I don't think any father would want that for his son. But as me, I wouldn't want that for my father. So I would rather have the bullet. And people were so ready with their narrative. The police was so determined, and they exactly knew what was going on, or what transpired. Then why did they not prevent it from happening? If their intelligence was so great, then why did they not prevent it from happening? But right now, I was in the right frame of mind for 7 to 8 days to even think or answer anything. I did not feel that I have lost my father. That's something which someone now also when they say that late something, it's like it doesn't feel in, like, if you see, he's just it is like 4 days before this incident, he was smiling and over breakfast. After that, their leaders said that they wouldn't let me work, and they actually tried to do so. I got no funds from them, from the government I was a part of in Maharashtra Agadi. I had no answers to give my people when they asked me what the work was being done, because I used to not get funds which were allocated to every member of the Maharashtra Agadi. I used to be not invited to openings just 100 meters away from my office. It was just going down the hill. I used to complain to Congress leaders. They used to tell me that the CM has an eye on my seat, so they can't do anything. I'll have to fight for another constituency.
Zeeshan, one thing that is often said about your switch is the fact that this was an opportunistic switch. There was nothing more ideological. What is your response to this?
So what is ideological in Congress forming an alliance with Shiv Sena UBT? Wasn't that opportunistic just to come in the government?
Hello and welcome to HW News English. I am Shubham Chohan. I'm currently in Bandra East constituency of Mumbai. Now this constituency for the assembly elections is seeing an interesting battle. Two young faces squaring off against each other. First, Zeeshan Siddique of the NCP led by Ajit Pawar. He's the sitting MLA from the Congress party. He's now contesting on an NCP ticket. He is facing Varun Sardesai, another young face from the Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray. Bandra East also made news recently for the tragic assassination of Baba Siddique, a noted leader, Baba Siddique, who was killed just a few weeks back in broad daylight. Joining me today is Zeeshan Siddique from the NCP, who is, like I said, the sitting MLA, and he's just come off a hectic campaign schedule and decided to give us time. Zeeshan, thank you so much for taking out the time and speaking with me. Firstly, fighting your second assembly elections, this time on a different party symbol. First it was the Congress, now the NCP led by Ajit Pawar. What triggered the change?
See, that's not a simple answer, because a lot of series of events happened for this decision to be made. And it started off ever since I became an MLA. When I became an MLA in 2019, I was a young 27-year-old boy without much previous experience, and I defeated an SSUBT candidate at that time as well, the sitting mayor of Mumbai, if I'm not mistaken. And at that time, nowhere did we ever imagine, coming in alliance with Shiv Sena UBT. And that happened. That was a very unnatural alliance, to say the least, in Maharashtra Agadi. Shiv Sena and Congress being in one alliance is something no congressman ever even thought of. But that happened. After that, their leaders said that they wouldn't let me work, and they actually tried to do so. I got no funds from them, from the government I was a part of in Mahavikas Aghadi. I had no answers to give my people when they asked me what the work was being done, because I used to not get funds which were allocated to every member of the Mahavikas Aghadi. I used to be not invited to openings just 100 meters away from my office. It was just going down the hill. I used to complain to Congress leaders. They used to tell me that the CM has an eye on my seat, so they can't do anything. I'll have to fight for another constituency. So all of that happened, and finally they did give in to SSUBT's pressure, and they gave a sitting Congress seat to Shiv Sena UBT. Ajit Dada, in such tough times, also gave me an opportunity and listened to the people of Bandra East, and he gave me a ticket to contest. And the people of Bandra East want me to repeat my term, want me back as their MLA, and that's why I'm here fighting on an NCP AP ticket and hoping, and I believe that I'll be setting a record margin of victory this time in Bandra East.
Zeeshan, one thing that is often said about your switch is the fact that this was an opportunistic switch. There's nothing ideological in it. A, because the party you are part of currently is with the BJP, a party which it opposed for quite some time. And B, the fact that Congress did not give you a ticket, and it was Ajit Pawar who decided to give you a ticket, and that was it. That explains your switch. There was nothing more ideological. What is your response to this?
So what is ideological in Congress forming an alliance with Shiv Sena UBT? Wasn't that opportunistic just to come in the government? If Congress, see, we in Mumbai, we've always been fighting the Shiv Sena more closely than we fought the BJP. There are 4 Congress MLAs before this. 3 of us have beaten Shiv Sena and 1 has beaten BJP. So when we were taken to Jaipur, when we were taken to Rajasthan, we were asked if we want to form this alliance, and me and Varsha Gaikwad Tai, she completely said that we were like, no, we don't want to form this alliance because it's very unnatural. Our ideologies, our codes, our core values, our responsibilities, nothing matches. And our karyakartas, it's just everything is very different. Our our thought processes, everything is different. And after that, we did form an alliance with them, and I had to pay the price for that. I had to bear the brunt of it, and many MLAs had to bear the brunt of it. But they went on. SSUBT always kept pressurizing Congress. Even now, after Congress winning so many seats in the Lok Sabha, Shiv Sena UBT always acts like an older brother, and Congress doesn't recognize that Shiv Sena UBT is not their friend. It's actually an enemy which is going to harm them more than it's going to, do them any good. So yeah, that's why. And if Congress can, change its alliance and not maintain any common minimum program, then I don't think any of them should point fingers at anybody else. I decided Ajit Dada has always himself been a secular person. NCP AP has been a part of the alliance, has been a part of Congress as well. And even Ajit Dada, Praful Patel ji, Sunil Tatkar ji, all of them were congressmen before. So I feel that the core values do match, and I'm in a party that always likes to protect the rights of every individual and is secular in the right sense, and not just be hypocrites about being secular, and they speak up for what is actually right.
Zeeshan, my next question is, as a young voter in this city itself, what are the issues that you are offering? What are the issues you think that you will tackle as an MLA, particularly keeping the youngsters in mind? You yourself were the youngest MLA in the outgoing Maharashtra Assembly. How critical a role do youngsters play as far as your constituency and your vision is concerned?
See, youngsters play a very important role in any government because they bring in fresh ideas, they bring in stuff that probably many experienced leaders also would not even think of. I feel like educated people. I've done my master's in global management and public leadership. So I have a lot of sense of what is going around the world. I've met people, I've met leaders across the world. There are lots of infrastructure ideas which I bring to the table. There are lots of core issues in my constituency. So if I just talk about my constituency, the basic issues are development, housing. Many the people do not have their houses. They have been promised houses from builders, and they've not got houses. So we have to fight, make sure that the poor people get houses, because there's a big gap between the poor and the rich. So you have to bridge that gap for there to be some sort of equality. Then again, I would like to talk about basic amenities like water. The water supply is something we need to work on. Drinking water, all the other water. There's been a lot of progress. We've been setting up new pipelines. We've been setting up a lot of other things. Basic amenities like sewage lines. We've made sure that thousands of houses get sewage lines inside their houses, which was not something that was done in the last 20, 25 years in a city like Mumbai, which is very unfortunate. So I had to do lots of basic things like, lanes inside slums which go to their houses. The water used to fill up, dirty water used to go to their houses. So we made sure that all the lanes have been renovated. Now we need to work on the health sector. There's a Sardesai hospital in my constituency. We're completely revamping that. The plan is already in process. We are shifting the wing to Baba Hospital for now and completely doing up Sardesai hospital. There are many schools which I've made, I've worked on, I've renovated, and we need to work on the education sector even more, sanitation, health, basic infrastructure, basic amenities, and all of that which we've done. A lot of work has been done, and a lot of work which is to be done as well.
One quick question that struck me on your exit: how was it a tough choice to leave the Congress? Because that is something that not just you, your father has worked in a party for all these years. He was close to late Sunil Dutt. Was it a tough choice to quit a party like Congress that is like the grand old party, someone that had a party that had roots in Mumbai? Some of the top leaders are from the Congress. So was that a tough choice then?
Of course. See, any place you leave, if you leave it after being there for a lot of time, even if you live in a house for like 15 years and you leave your house, you're going to be attached to that house. And I don't think I want to say a lot of negative things about Congress because I've been there. I've been a part of that. I've been born in a Congress family. Ever since I was 18, I was a part of Youth Congress. I fought elections. I fought 3 elections. I won 3 elections in Youth Congress. So it was a tough decision, but they made it easier for me. So when my father quit Congress and joined NCP AP, they just completely sidelined me. They removed me from the post of Mumbai Youth Congress president when I had no plans of leaving Congress. And that was not the first time that somebody in the family leaves and joins another party. There are thousands of examples I've given in India. A.K. Anthony, Digvijay Singh, his brother left. A.K. Anthony's own son was there. Karnataka Congress has a couple of MLAs whose fathers are MPs from another party, or vice versa. And Vaibhav Walia. There are many such incidents which I can give you, which have happened, but they did that with me, which is very unfortunate. And it is what it is. And
but no one from the Congress reached out to you. No Congress leaders.
In fact, when they removed me, also they did not remove me. I did not get an intimation letter. You want to take your mom's call? I know how it is. They didn't remove me. They didn't send me any official intimation or any show cause notice or nothing. One fine day, someone else was appointed. And that's not how Youth Congress works, because we fight elections. I got about 100,000 votes and won an election in Mumbai. So that's not how it works. But they did that with me. They removed me from all the WhatsApp groups. They just stopped communication with me. In fact, 1 week after my dad joined NCP, I was the one who signed on Chandrakant Handroji's Rajya Sabha nomination. But when there was no election, they decided that they didn't need me. So they just sidelined me. I think a lot of Mumbai Congress leaders maybe, had their vested interest in there. Maybe Delhi leaders, I don't know, or maybe SSUBT.
Like whom?
I don't know exactly. It'd be wrong for me to name someone when I don't know for sure. But that's what it looks like. Because why else would they want to get rid of a young MLA who is doing well in his constituency, who is the president of Mumbai Youth Congress? And they did that so unceremoniously, and they did what they did. So I had to take my decision then.
The next phase is something that I know you've talked about in your rallies. You've talked about in a lot of interviews. Is what happened to your father. I'm sure it's a tough chapter for you as a son and for the family. So firstly, condolences to you, Zeeshan. But it's been about more than 2 weeks, I think, since that tragic assassination took place. What has been going through your head? Because we've seen visuals, you breaking down. There's been a lot of chatter as well as to what transpired on that fateful night. Because like you just said in your rally that he was leaving your office and you just left it about 2.5 minutes before that incident took place. If you are able to recollect and to tell us what really.
So we're sitting in my office right now, and I was right here. Dad was inside in my antechamber, and I was sitting right here. I was doing my meetings. I didn't ever think of it to happen. Just speechless. But when I went there, I went inside the antechamber, and Dad was reading his Isha Namaz, and I waited for 5 minutes. I was a bit hungry. There's a small restaurant nearby, but one minute away. So I told him, "Do you have any work with me? Because I'm just coming." And I sit in the office till 5 a.m. But he doesn't sit here very often. He just comes from his office. So he said, "No, but I don't have any work with you." And he told me, "I'll see you at home for dinner." So I said, "Okay." And I left with my one colleague. And my car was parked right outside. And I sat in my car, I went there. As soon as I went there, I ordered for an idli. And I was going to place my second thing, and my friend Daniel, he got a call. And he screamed, "Sir, Baba bhai pe firing hui hai." And I don't remember what happened after that. I remember I was not wearing any chappals because I just removed them. And I ran barefoot towards my office. My security and the people around me, they just took me and put me in the car. And I went to the hospital then. And that was, I saw him. There was a lot of blood. And no, I didn't get to speak to him after that. The last I spoke to him was in my office, right where we're sitting. So it's been very difficult for me to even come to office. I did not come to office for 15 days. Yesterday was the first time I came to office because I have to pass that area that, just outside my office, that area is there where it happened. So every time I come to office, I ask them that, how did you, the CCTV cameras, you can see that. So I said, how does it not cover that before if you zoom in? There's, lots of things played in my mind that what if I didn't go to eat in Italy? I don't know. Maybe I would have got the bullet. And maybe it's being selfish because I don't think any father would want that for his son. But, as me, I wouldn't want that for my father. So I would rather have the bullet. And I don't know. Just very difficult for me to.
There's a lot of chatter, Zeeshan, because, like you said, it's been very tough for the family to face, to just not even overcome, just to come to terms with. There's been a lot of chatter. Who did it? What was the motive? Is it because of X reason? Is it because of a film star being involved and some threat to that? Who do you hold responsible for what transpired on that fateful night?
That makes no sense to me because that narrative was spread even before Dad reached Leelavati Hospital. So before we reached the hospital, the narrative started that, someone has done it and because of his proximity to someone. The first question I asked was if people were so ready with their narrative, or if the police was so determined and they exactly knew what was going on, or what transpired. Then why did they not prevent it from happening? If their intelligence was so great, then why did they not prevent it from happening? And I don't think it just doesn't add up. When 1 + 1 does not equate to 9, if someone tells you that, then you have your doubts. But right now, I wasn't in the right frame of mind for 7 to 8 days to even think or answer anything. I did not feel that I have lost my father. That's something which someone now also when they say that late something, it's like it doesn't feel in, if you see, he's just it's just like 4 days before this incident, you're smiling and over breakfast. I don't know. It's not something I can believe. Like he would call me every half an hour, 45 minutes, and I don't know who's done it, but I know for a fact that he lost his life saving the rights and the homes of poor people. And I think probably people did not like the fact that me and my father are fighting the rights of poor people. And maybe it's one of them. I don't know.
What does it say about law and order in Mumbai, Zeeshan? Because what happened with Baba Siddique is not an isolated incident. We've seen in recent months some of the popular lawmakers in the city, some party workers have been shot in broad daylight. What does it say about law and order in the city where Ajit Pawar is the deputy chief minister of the government that is now going to polls?
No, I completely agree. And me being a public servant and a politician is secondary. For first, I'm a son to my father, and the law and order is ridiculous. It is ridiculous to say the least. And I mean, I went to. If something like this is happening in Mumbai, then it's some answers need to be given, and I'm asking those questions to Mumbai police. And I feel like Mumbai police needs to give me answers. They need to give answers to the citizens. And see, when things happen to others, maybe we read in the news, we do feel bad for a minute or two, and then we sleep over it. But you never expect it to happen in your own house, right? I mean, would you ever imagine, anybody would not imagine their father, firstly, nobody ever thinks of their father not being there with them. I mean, he wanted to play with his grandkids, he wanted to see me get married, there was a lot of things he wanted to do in my personal life. And then I feel like, I don't know, a lot of things there. No, but definitely, if they were there, they were doing recce for a month, then what was the police doing? There are lots of questions and a lot of answers that we need, and it's been, 20 days, and we don't have any clue. So, it's ridiculous.
Final question, back to politics. You just have about 2 weeks to go for campaign. You're squaring off against another young face. Do you fancy yourself to win this comfortably, or do you see a tough fight being put up by Shivsena UBT?
No, see, it's not a tough fight. The last time I contested, it was a little close, but I still won by about 6,000 votes. And that time I was fighting against the sitting mayor of Mumbai. And in these 5 years, the work I have done, the issues I have raised, the efforts that I have put in, the relationships that I've built, the sacrifices my family has made, it's a no-brainer. People are, and I'm doing this for my father, who really, was fighting the fight for the people. I'm doing this for the people of my constituency who have bestowed their faith and trust in me. Because I wasn't even in the right frame of mind to even think of contesting the elections, to be honest. And right now, if I'm sitting here talking to you after a hectic day of campaign, I feel like somewhere down the line, it's my father giving me the strength. I don't think that I'd ever imagine myself to even be in the right frame of mind to construct a sentence, let alone give an interview, let alone give a speech on stage, let alone campaign, let alone talk to people. And the fact that I'm doing this, I know that my father is guiding me. And I know that my father is with me at all times, and with his guidance, with his blessings, with the people's love and trust that they have in me, I'm sure I'm going to set a record victory margin this time from Bandra East.
Zeeshan, firstly, it's always good to see young faces in politics. For young voters like me, to see young faces fighting elections is always a good sight. And on the second front, I understand you've been going through a lot on the professional and the personal front. But despite that, despite your hectic schedule, you took out time, you spoke to me. Thank you so much for taking out the time. All the best for all your endeavors. So that was Zeeshan Siddique. He is the NCP candidate from Bandra East, Mumbai. Like the rest of Maharashtra, goes to polls on the 20th of November. And 23rd of November is when the results will be out. This is Shubham Chohan reporting for HW News.
Stay ahead with our cutting-edge news app. Instantly access the latest shorts in just 1 minute and breaking news in just 50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.